Welcome back. Last time we had just finished doing the C part of CRUD, which is create. This time we're going to do read, and if we have time we're going to do update and delete, but if not we'll just do that in further videos, future videos should I say. So we have created our course by clicking this button. So we click the button, it creates a course. So we've just clicked it again, so we created another one here. So we're going to see another one here. We must have clicked it again previously. So we've got 3 courses here. So now we want to output these courses to our course index page. Now we haven't really bothered to make this look good or lay this out in a semi-decent way, but let's actually do that now because it's going to get a bit messy otherwise. So what we want to do is come down to our index, and we're going to use a component that's going to output our courses. So we're going to do that here. We're just going to create this component. We're going to call it our courses or my courses. So this does not exist, but we're going to create it here. So we're going to say new file, MyCourses.vue. And this is just going to be a component that takes our courses and outputs them. So we need to import it here. So we import MyCourses from from this folder and then MyCourses. So save that. And this is going to take a prop and it's going to be courses. So we're going to say courses equals courses. Now this isn't received by our page yet, so we're just going to do that up here. So we're going to say const props equals defineProps. I'm going to say courses, and this is going to be an array because you can have multiple courses. We want to pass all the courses that belong to the authenticated user to this page, to this index, and then we're going to pass those courses to our MyCourses component here, which currently has absolutely nothing in it. So if we come to our controller, we'll see this is the index method, which is accessed via this route here. And we don't have to pass the user here. We could pass it here, but we're actually not going to do that. What we're going to do instead is we're just going to get the currently authenticated user via the request. So this is a Laravel thing. It's magic. Don't worry too much. So we say request. So now we get the request variable, and in that request we get access to the currently authenticated user, which is really handy. We might find further down the line we're better off passing the user in the route like that, because it will allow us to, as an administrator, access all of the different users via that. But we're going to do it like this for now to demonstrate it. It's not a problem. So the way we can access the user, the authenticated user, is by doing this. So I'm just going to output it so you can see what's going on. So request, request, and then you say user, and you're actually calling a method on the request object. So save that, go to courses, and now you can see the currently authenticated user. Very nice. So you get all that information from the user model, which is here. Okay, so that's the data in the database, but the user model tells us which data we're allowed to access and what we can do with it. So we can mess around with this if we need to. Here, we don't actually need to. Great, so we've got the user. So what we can say is we can just store that in a variable. So let's just get rid of this dd. Oops, what am I doing? Pressing buttons. So we can say user equals that. And now we can get the courses for that user. And do you remember before we created a relationship? So we have user and we have courses. So if we call the courses on this user, so let's just demonstrate that. User courses. And we don't need to actually put the parenthesis there. So now if we do it, we can see we've got our 3 courses models. Very good indeed. So hopefully that makes sense to you. We're going to actually pass this information to our Vue now. So if we say courses equals that, and then we go comma, and we just pass an array here, and we can say courses for the key, and then as the value we just pass this variable here, which is an array, or it's a collection, should I say. And that's that. So now if we come to our index, and we've already defined the props courses, and we're passing it to my courses. So if we go to my courses, let's just tidy this up a bit, there's a lot going on. And we can start creating this component. So we need to do a script setup. And in this script, we want to have our props. So we can say const props equals define props. And once again, we're going to have courses, and it's an array. If we just do a little template down here, now if we just output courses, we can see what we have. So now we come to my courses, we can see the courses here, which is lovely. So what we actually want to do is display them in, well, what I want to do, display them in a grid. So we want to display the name and the description, and then we'll have some action buttons, so to view the course or edit the course. So let's do that now. So what we're going to do is we're just going to say, well, we're going to loop over the courses basically. So we're going to say v4 equals course in courses. And now if we just output course, we can see we get each course. So let's do some styling for each of these. So we're just going to do a little grid. So actually let's just pop that on the outside container. So let's do an outer container, div class equals, and we're going to say grid, and we'll say on the smallest screen it will just be one column, so we'll say grid cols 1, and then small and up it can be 3, grid cols 3. And we want to put a little gap between each of the grid items, so we're going to say gap 4. I do that every single time. Gap 4. I don't know why. Y and P aren't even near each other. And then let's just move this inside there. Oops. And now if we put a little bit of styling here, so this is Tailwind styling. So if you go to Tailwind CSS, the docs there, if you're confused about any of these classes, you'll find all the classes that you could ever possibly need. So we're going to say colspan 1, and we'll just put a little bit of a border on it so we can actually see it. Okay, save that. And we can see we've got these 3 horrible looking boxes. So let's just style that a little bit nicer. Background white, rounded, large, shadow, and see how that's looking. Okay, and now we want to actually separate the name and the description up so we can actually see it a bit better. So let's say, let's just do H3, and we're going to say course name, and we just want to do a little P, and we'll say course dot description. So let's get rid of that now. We're going to give it a bit of padding. So it's coming together nicely, and we probably want to put some padding on here. And do you know what? We probably don't actually. We want to do that in our index. So we want to actually have a bit of a container here. So we can actually create a container component. This is something you should get in the habit of doing, make components for reusable bits of code. So let's just make a little container, and we're actually going to copy what is used in the dashboard. So this is what Jetstream use. So we're going to just copy this, and we're going to use this for our container ourselves. So we're just going to copy that, and I'm going to make a new component up here in this components folder, and we're just going to say Container.vue, and it's only going to have a template. We're going to paste that in, and we're just going to put a slot in there. And now when we include this container component, anything that we put in between the container tags will be output here. So let's try that. Go here. With a bit of luck, this will get auto imported now. If I just put container, it has imported it. That's perfect. So now whatever we put between there will be within the container, which is lovely. Save that. There we go. So we've got a bit of padding down the side, and we can put a class on that if we want. So we can say class py16. So it's going to give some padding like that. So it's coming together. We can just do a little bit more styling if we want to. Don't get too bogged down. It doesn't have to look perfect because we can always tweak this later, but it is nice. It does make it a bit nicer, doesn't it? So if we want to say maybe font bold and text rate 900, and then this one we can make the text a little bit less dark. Save that. Just looks a little bit nicer. And let's give this button a bit of styling as well. Again, you probably wouldn't put this button where it is. Just going to get rid of that. We don't need that. But it's there. So let's just say class margin top 8, and then for the button itself we can style it a bit. So we can say background whatever, blue, or in fact, you know what, let's just make it even easier and use the pre-built buttons, so that we're going to use a primary button. So we can say primary, these are Jetstream components, so primary button, so that should have imported. Yeah, perfect. So now we don't even have to think about styling that ourselves. Lovely. So we can create course, and look, they're getting added there. Wonderful. So now let's add a couple of buttons so we can actually get to editing these courses. So we want to put a button to edit, and it's going to take us to a page where we can just edit the name and the description of this course. So that will be the update part of CRUD. So we've done create, we've done read, so we're reading it here. We could do more read, so we could click on view. Yeah, let's put two buttons. Let's put view course and edit course. So let's do that first. So in my courses, in the loop for looping over the courses, let's just put another div within that. And we can say margin top 4. And we can put another button. So let's put the primary button again. Actually, tell a lie, we're going to put a link. We're going to put a link. So we're actually going to import a link component. So we're going to import link, and this is an inertia.js from inertia. So we're going to say link, and that has a href, and we're going to put a root in there, which does not exist yet. So we're going to have to create that as well. So we can say view, just view, and we'll put it in and then we'll create it. So this is going to create our root. So root, this is not going to create our root, sorry. We're going to put the root that we're about to create. Root, and we can say courses.vue, and we're going to pass the ID of the specific course that we want to view. So we're going to say course, and because we're in this loop, we're going to say course.id, and we're actually going to say course ID, course_ID. Save that, and now if we come to our web.php, we can create that root. So let's just copy that, and we'll adjust it. So this is going to be a get. In fact, let's copy that one because that's already a get. So we're going to say view individual course, and we're going to say courses, and then we're going to say course. And we're going to do dependency injection again. We're going to say view courses.vue. I'm not sure if I called it that in there. Did I call it that? Yes, I did. Right, so we've got our root, and we're passing the course ID to that root. And then this is calling, well, this is passing that information or that course to this view method, which is on the course controller, which does not yet exist. So if we come here and we can say public function view, and we say course, we need to make sure we have course up here, which we do. So now we can just see if that's working by DDing that out, course, save. Something's gone wrong. Course parameters required for root courses.vue. What have we not done? Have we not passed that? Course parameter, do you know what? Didn't need to put course ID. Let's just call it course then. So that has to match what we have here. Let's see if that works. Okay, so if we click on one, hopefully we get the course. Yeah, we do. So course with ID 1, and if we do this one, it should be course with ID 3. Yeah, ID 3. Okay, wonderful. So now we're passing that course to our controller, and from here we can pass it to another page view or a Vue.js file. So let's do that. So we're going to say return inertia render, and we're going to say courses, and we're going to say view, and we're going to say index, and then we're going to do an array, and we're going to pass course and pass this course object here. Do you see how helpful this is? This dependency injection saves you so much time. So save that, and now we need to create this here. It's a nice little error there saying it could not find that. So we're going to actually create it. So come down to our resources and courses, and we've already got courses index. So we're going to say courses view. We say new file Index.vue, and now we're just going to create our component here. So we say script setup, and we're going to import app layout, and we're going to have props. So we're going to say const props equals define props, and get what's the prop? Course. It's course, and this one's an object because we're actually just getting one course. We're not returning the collection of all the courses. Come down here, template, and then we say app layout. So that's just referring to this component here. This is a component, even though it says layout, don't be confused. And we can pass a title to that because that's already been defined, and we can say view course, and then we've got the header slot, so template, header, oops. And in here we could actually put the name of the course, so we can say course.name, and then we can have our container. That'll get imported for us, very nice. And then we can have the details of our course here. So we can say whatever we want to say. We're going to change this very shortly, but I'm just going to output this so you can see it. So it makes sense, hopefully. Course.name and course.description. Save that. And now, if we view on one of these, we get the course name, course description. Of course, they all do have the same name, so I'll output the ID for you as well. So ID 2, ID 5. So now we have done the read part of CRUD. I think we'll call that a day, and we'll actually do the update part of CRUD in the next video. So we're going to look at how to change this information stored in the database. Okay, see you then.